A writer named Tom Bower just told some very strange and surprising stories about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Tom Bower is a man who writes books about the royal family. He spends a very long time looking for secrets and finding out what is really happening behind the palace walls. When a person like him starts talking, everyone should stop and listen because it means things are about to get very interesting. He is talking about the way they do business, the friends they have lost, and stories that will make you think about Harry and Meghan in a whole new way. One of the secrets he found is so surprising that you might need to sit down for a minute just to think about it. It is a very big deal. We are going to look at 7 big secrets that Tom Bower just shared with the world. Some of these things are so strange that you would never guess them on your own. Before we start talking about these secrets, please hit the like button and follow us. What we are about to tell you is really wild. We are going to talk about how a baby's name was turned into a way to make money. We will talk about a story from when Meghan was a little girl that might not even be true. We will even talk about a famous magazine boss who said he never wants to work with her ever again. You really do not want to miss any of this. Let us start right now. Let us start with something that happened not very long ago. Meghan went to a big party to help people. This party was started by a famous actor named Kevin Costner. If you just look at it quickly, it looks like a normal thing for a famous person to do. Famous people go to these kinds of parties all the time, but there is a secret part to this story. The year before this, the same party happened, but Meghan was not there. She chose to stay home and skip the whole thing. Why did she go this year but not last year? Tom Bower says that last year, Meghan was very busy trying to make her TV show on Netflix a big success. She was working very hard on that project. He says she had 2 big reasons for staying away from Kevin Costner's party back then. First, she did not want anyone to see her with Harry. She did not want photographers to take pictures of her standing next to her own husband at that event. Second, she thought that going to that specific party would make her look like she was not a big star. She thought it would make her look cheap. So she did not go at all. But now, 1 year later, she is walking into that exact same party. Tom Bower says she did this because she is desperate to stay famous. He thinks she is trying very hard to make sure people still know who she is because things have changed. If you look at the big picture, you can see that the most famous people in Hollywood are not trying to work with her anymore. The big stars are staying away from her. They do not want any trouble with the king and the rest of the royal family. They think that being friends with Meghan and Harry might cause problems for them. This means Meghan is being left out of the groups of famous people she used to be part of. She is finding out that the doors that used to open for her are now staying closed. Now we are going to talk about something that is very interesting. When Meghan and Harry had their little girl, they gave her the name Lilibet. If you do not know about the history of the royal family, Lilibet was a very special name. It was the secret nickname that Queen Elizabeth had when she was a little girl. Only her closest family members called her that in private. It is a very personal name that means a lot to the family. But Tom Bower says there is another side to this story that is all about the timing. Before Harry even picked up the phone to call his grandmother, the Queen, to tell her the baby's name, something else was happening. He says that lawyers were already working on a business deal. 2 days before the world even knew the baby was born, someone bought the website named Lilibet.com. They locked it down before the royal family was even told about the baby. This is how it happened. The baby was born, then Harry called the Queen and told her they named the girl after her. That was when the Queen found out her private nickname was being used for her great-granddaughter. But the website was already bought before that call happened. Tom Bower says this shows they were trying to turn a baby's name into a way to make money. He says that Harry does not really think about making money this way, so he is sure that Meghan was the one who had the idea. He thinks it was a plan to use a special family name to build a brand. To Tom Bower, this looks like a business move instead of a sweet family moment. He believes that Harry would not even understand how to do something like that, which makes him think Meghan was the leader of the plan. Tom Bower says that the whole time Meghan was in the royal family, things were not what they seemed to be. He does not think she ever really wanted to live in England forever. He believes she always had a secret plan. Her plan was to get the title of Duchess, meet a lot of important people, and then move back to California. He says that being a Duchess was like having a golden ticket that would help her get big jobs in America. She did not care about the royal rules or the history of the family. She just wanted the title so she could use it for herself. To Meghan, California was always the place where she wanted to end up. That is where her old jobs were and where her friends in the movie business lived. Tom Bower says her strategy was to take everything she got from being a royal and use it to become a global star in America. He says that once she had what she wanted, Harry just went along with her. Harry followed her because she had a vision for a life outside of the royal family. This is a very sad story to Tom Bower because he says the Queen was very nice to Meghan. The Queen welcomed her and trusted her. The royal family was ready to be her new family, but Tom Bower thinks Meghan was already planning to leave even when the Queen was being so kind. He calls it a betrayal. He thinks Meghan just used her time in Britain to get the title she needed. And once she had it, she and Harry left to start their new life. There is something else Tom Bower talks about that shows how Meghan thinks about herself. He says that in Meghan's mind, she is just like Princess Diana. He says she truly believes she is just as important as Harry's mother was. You could see this during their trip to Australia in 2018. Meghan wore a lot of jewelry that used to belong to Diana. She wore a very expensive watch and other pieces that cost a lot of money, and she keeps doing this. No matter where she goes, her team makes sure to tell the news that she is wearing Diana's jewelry. It happens all the time. Tom Bower says this is a ridiculous fantasy. He says she is doing this because she has a big ego and poor judgment. He thinks Meghan and Harry do not understand what the public really thinks. Princess Diana was loved because she worked very hard and cared about people who were hurting. Those are things that Tom Bower says Meghan does not have. He says Meghan made a big mistake. Diana did not become famous and loved in just one day. It took many years of hard work for people to love her. People watched Diana grow up and saw her help many people. But Meghan seems to think she can be just as famous as Diana just by wearing her expensive watch and having her team talk about it. Tom Bower says you cannot just buy a legacy or wear it like a piece of jewelry. He thinks it is a fantasy to believe she is the same as Diana, and he says the public can see the difference. Let us talk about Christmas in 2017. They were at a big royal house called Sandringham. This was a very important time because things started to go wrong with Harry's old friends. Harry had a group of friends he had known for his whole life. They were like brothers to him. But that weekend, Meghan got into a big argument with them. She did not like the jokes they were making. She thought the things they said were mean or wrong, and she told them so. After that, Harry's friends started calling her the fun police because they thought she was being too strict. Tom Bower says this was the moment everything changed. Someone who was there told him that this was when Meghan told Harry he had to stop being friends with those guys. She did not just want him to see them less, she wanted him to dump them completely. And that is what happened. When Harry and Meghan got married, it was a huge party that the whole world watched. But for the private dinner after the wedding, none of those old friends were invited. Not a single one. Tom Bower says this was the time when Meghan separated Harry from the people who had cared about him for years. Now Harry does not have his old support system. Tom Bower says Harry is very sad because he misses his friends in London. Those friends knew Harry's whole history. They were there when he was a young man and when he was in the army. But now those friendships are over. Tom Bower says Meghan made him walk away from everyone he used to know. Harry is now living with the results of that choice, and he is very lonely without his old crew. Working with a big magazine called British Vogue should have been a great thing for Meghan, but Tom Bower says it turned into a giant mess. He says the whole problem was that Meghan wanted to be the boss of everything. After the Queen died, the editor of the magazine, a man named Edward Ninfel, had a plan for the cover of the magazine. He had already made his choices, but Meghan tried to tell him what to do. She wanted to be in charge of the cover story. The editor did not even want her on the cover, and she was very unhappy about that. She tried to push her way in and control what was being written. She even tried to control what went on the magazine's website. The editor told her no. He told her she could not be the boss of his magazine. Tom Bower says this is a big problem for Meghan because she always wants to be in control. It was not just the editor who had a hard time. A writer named Sam Kashner also worked with her, and he said it was a very bad experience. He said he felt like Meghan was playing a game with him and that she betrayed him. He felt like he was being tricked. When Meghan was helping with the magazine, she acted like she was the real boss instead of just a guest. The people who actually worked there were very frustrated and upset. After it was all over, the editor said he would never do it again. He said once was enough. He was finished with her. Tom Bower says there was a huge fight because Meghan wanted to be the star and the boss, and the editor said no. He says she acted like a prima donna, which means she acted like she was more important than everyone else. That is why the editor decided he was done with her forever. Here is a story you might have heard many times before. It is a story about Meghan when she was a little girl. The story says she saw a soap commercial on TV that was mean to women. Little Meghan supposedly wrote a letter to the big company, Procter & Gamble, to tell them they should change it. And the story says the company actually listened to her and changed the commercial. For a long time, people used this story to show that Meghan has always wanted to help people and change the world. But Tom Bower says there is a big problem. The story might not even be true. He looked into it and found some surprising things. First, he talked to Meghan's father. Her father said he never sent any letter like that. He said it never happened. Then a famous magazine called Vanity Fair tried to find out the truth too. They asked the company, Procter & Gamble, if they had any record of the letter. Big companies like that keep every letter they get in a special file. They looked through all their old papers very carefully. They found nothing. There was no letter from Meghan Markle anywhere in their files. This is not surprising if the letter was never sent in the first place. Tom Bower says this story was made up to make Meghan look like a hero. He thinks it was a plan to make people think she has always been an activist. He says Meghan has a habit of making her past stories sound much bigger and better than they really were. He thinks she does this so people will feel sorry for her or think she is amazing. But when people actually look for the truth, the stories start to fall apart. To Tom Bower, this is just another example of a story that does not match reality. So those are 7 big secrets from Tom Bower about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They show a very different side of the couple. We talked about how Hollywood stars are staying away from them because they do not want any trouble with the royal family. We talked about the website for their baby Lilibet being bought before the Queen even knew the baby's name. Tom Bower says this was all about making money. We heard that Meghan never really wanted to stay in England and only wanted the title of Duchess to use in America. We looked at how Meghan tries to act like Princess Diana by wearing her jewelry, even though she has not done the same hard work Diana did. We talked about how Meghan made Harry leave his old friends after an argument at Christmas. We heard about the big fight at Vogue magazine because Meghan wanted to be the boss. And finally, we looked at the story about the childhood letter that might be fake because the company has no record of it. Tom Bower says all of this shows a pattern. He thinks they make business moves, tell stories that are not true, and lose friends along the way. He says their public image is built on stories that fall apart when you look at them closely. Which one of these secrets surprised you the most? Tell us what you think in the comments. Please like this video and follow us for more stories. We will see you in the next one.